My name's Lee Clarke from MyTradeTV. I'm going to be speaking with Jason from the National Fenestration Awards. Obviously, I'm involved heavily now in the National Fenestration Awards myself, so we're going to be talking and discussing a little bit about the industry, a little bit about what's going on with the awards, the nominations, the awards in general, how it's going to run, and just a few discussions about the industry in general. So, nice to be speaking to you, Jason. First of all, a couple of quick questions for you, just as regards to the industry now, and what kind of products are driving the market at the moment. Is there anything in particular that's doing better than others? Is it the door side? Is it windows, conservatories? What's really driving the market?
Doors have become a work of art. The nice thing with doors is the amount of choice. It's hard if you're an installations company with choice because you've got to get your head around it all, but from a customer perspective, the choice is fantastic. You can spray a door any colour, you can have any glass design, and again in any colour. You can even design a door from scratch and have it be completely unique to that client. So rather than just look from a brochure, that everyone else maybe on your street or your neighbourhood's been looking at, because everybody else is going to be changing the front door. Spend the time with the client, decide with them what's best with them, and you can have something completely from scratch, and have a fantastic new front door, side door, whatever the entrance is going to be, and it really makes a difference to the house, and obviously the customer loves it as well. That's what for us has driven a lot of the extra sales on top of that. The doors are a real work of art. And you see it in the composite market as well, some of the funky new designs, the colours, even stuff like the aubergine. I know Solidor do an aubergine colour, which is, I suppose, an acquired taste to some and dependent on the property. 5 years ago you wouldn't even have thought of bringing out an aubergine door or a yellow door or a burnt orange sprayed door.
Yeah. So
for us it's doors. Industry in general, I think sectors like the timber alternative market, which we have actually included in this year's NFAs, that's exploding. No longer is it just a niche, but it's a well-established market with new manufacturers coming in to rival the ones you know. And I think glazed extensions, not conservatories but glazed extensions, some things like the loggias, the solid roof options, the prefabricated products which don't just look like a glass box stuck on the back of a house, rather more of a solid room. That's
like an extension.
An extension, like a usable room that doesn't feel cold, that doesn't feel super hot, depending on the season. There, I think the real growth sector. I think.
You think that finance in general? Do you think that companies should be providing finance?
There'll always be a section for finance because the biggest companies rely on it for sales. So a lot of their sales will be based on being able to provide a finance package to clients. For the medium to smaller businesses, not an option. It's not good for cash flow. There's a lot of red tape. There's a lot of paperwork which clogs up the efficiency of the sale. It's not ideal for them. For the bigger companies, the national ones I'm sure we all know about, their salesman can go in armed with the finance package. They'll get a commission on it. The homeowner gets to pay for house floor windows and doors a nominal amount per month. And in the end they'll pay more than what's quoted originally, but they've been able to pay for it in the long run. So there'll always be that finance sector, but for us, our clientele is slightly different in that they've got a lot more disposable income.
Okay. It'd be quite interesting to get some feedback actually off installers in general across country. When they see this chat, and maybe you could do something on DGB as well. I think it'd be interesting to get feedback on the thoughts on finance and whether it should be a help to drive the market a little bit. Because
I think it's worth doing some research into it, because I do think things are changing. I think customers are, again, because they're more educated, because the internet is able to tell them that finance is a long-term, more expensive way of doing business. It might persuade a few people in this era, in the technology era, that just save up a bit longer, just don't be too eager, look at your options, look at what you're getting for your money, and understand that initially it might be a bigger lump sum you're paying out, but at least you haven't got a monthly or yearly drag on you, on top of all your other bills as well. But I think that's changing. I don't think the finance area of our industry will be the same in 2 or 3 years' time.
Okay. Before we get to the NFA stuff, we want to have a little bit of a plug here. Obviously, we've got 2 industry events. We've got the Pigs, which is down in London shortly, which I'm sure quite a lot of people will be attending, very well attended. But there's a new thing hanging about at the moment that started. Apparently, a few people got together at the Fit Show, a tweet and meet, and obviously that's happening again in Birmingham. Can you tell us a bit more about what's happening with that?
Well, a few of us got together over social media at the first night of the Fit Show on Tuesday evening. That was in Holiday Inn. Simply because we always speak to each other online but never get the chance to meet up. So just a few of us. Before long, that snowballed into almost every single person we talked to on social media. We all ended up there about 7:30. I think a few of us expected to come, maybe a couple more, but it turned out the bar was rammed up until way beyond I left.
I was due to come and I fell asleep after the first day at the show, sorry. I promised to make the next one.
Yeah, well, you can't skip this next one. So you've got to... so everybody came down. The atmosphere was fantastic. It was relaxed. There weren't much, we didn't even talk about work really. It was just getting to know people that we often got on well with online but never really get to meet. The feedback afterwards, after the Fit Show, was so positive. And everybody else pretty much decided we have to do it again. So we thought Birmingham, nice and central location. The meeting place is the Jury's Inn bar downstairs. Okay, that hotel now is actually booked. We've booked the full hotel by all word, but from the hotel, it's mostly tweet and meet people that have actually booked. That have booked that hotel to its fullest. So there are other hotels you can go to, but the meeting place is there. And again, it's everyone who met at the Fit Show and extras who couldn't come, including yourself, who fell asleep.
Yeah, but I'll be at this one, and I promise I'll not fall asleep. So
we'll see. But so everyone. The main thing is everybody's welcome. It's an open ticket. We encourage you to bring your partners because I think they've always been left out at events, and you do like to take your partners. For those who are happily married.
It seems to be, I mean, obviously I've only been working in this industry for probably, I don't know, 6-7 years. It seems to be a good industry for get-togethers, but it's probably the first time that I've been invited to stuff where there's been ground people there, the installer level, because most of the stuff I tend, maybe it's just because I'm from the magazine and online advertising background, obviously I get invited to more commercial meetups where we're dealing with customers who are providing services, but it's nice to see the actual installers and the people on that sort of level, and the maybe the fabricators turning up and coming and seeing them together.
We've got fabricators, we've got installers, but we've got locksmiths, we've got people who are involved with racking for vans and transport. We've got people who are just social media guys, sort of mid-level positions within businesses. So we've got a really good diverse spread of people who are all involved in the industry, and in all honesty, it's proof of the power of social media. This didn't happen. This wasn't planned. It was just a few guys meeting up in a bar on Tuesday evening to now being, having a website, having sponsors to give people a few drinks for free. In a central location with almost 3-figure numbers of people coming down on a Saturday, giving up a weekend to meet other industry people to have a good knees up, which is fantastic.
It sounds good. I'm looking forward to it actually, and like I said, I do go on quite a lot of these kind of things, but it'd be interesting to come and meet a few people from online, because there's a lot of people on Twitter who we all talk to, and there's still a lot of people I've not met yet, so that'll be quite interesting.
Well, don't fall asleep.
I promise I'll make this one. Obviously, getting to the NFAs, we've got quite a lot to talk about. Nominations. I think when this video will go out, they're probably going to have finished. But can you tell us how the nominations have gone? And
by the time everybody's watching this, the nominations will have closed, and we may already even know the people on the shortlist. So congratulations to those people who've made it, and companies. But the nominations have far outstripped what we achieved last year. I mean, last year was good because it was an experiment.
What did we get last year? What nominations, amount-wise?
It was nearing the 120, 130 mark.
Okay.
Off the top of my head.
And what have we ended up on?
We're approaching 200.
And there's still
tonight
as
to
we're
go.
Filming now, there's still tonight to go.
The great thing with deadlines is it gets people to come in and do nominations right at the last minute. So, you know, law of averages will be beyond 200 by the time this video has gone out. So it's a massive increase.
And how many categories are there in total?
13.
So there's
3
13
new
and
ones
there's going to be close to or more than 200 nominations. That's a fair whack.
That's massive.
Yeah, it's a good
For something that was born online, that's in its second year. But a number that's far more impressive from my point of view is there's nearly 700, or there might even be more by the time the video goes out, but at the time of doing this, 700 registered users from all different walks of the sector: steel, alley, timber, composite, glass, systems, manufacturers, installers, social media. An enormous array of different people and companies, approaching 700 and growing. Is testament to the popularity and the idea itself.
Yeah, I mean, obviously I'm involved with you guys now at the NFAs. You know, I'm part of the NFA team. For me, I like the idea of it all being online. There's a lot of people who can get involved, and the fact for me that it was decided by the majority vote, I think that makes a big difference. I think you've got to allow. It's like anything from the, I mean, I'm going back to the days of when I was a kid. Every award given out, whether it be something to do with music or anything like that, it's usually always any magazine competitions where there's votes for who's the best football player from that team or that year. Even now to the social media with football teams, unfortunately me supporting Sheffield Wednesday, we don't have a lot to vote on, but even the player of the month. Player of the month, even the player of the month now, you get asked as fans, which player do you want to pick? The one with the most vote wins. And I think it's a fair system, you can judge people because...
it's the fairness that attracts people. If you speak to any company, anyone's agreed to get on board as a sponsor, anybody who's agreed to become a registered user, some of the feedback we've actually got in the testimonials part at the bottom of the website, it's the fairness. And the idea that any single person, whether it be a fitter, an R&D guy, a CEO, someone on the phone, they can, if they choose to, they don't have to. If they decide that they want to be part of this, they can register for free, say what they want to say, nominate who they want to nominate. It can be either themselves, someone else, a young guy who's doing fantastic work who should be getting recognition but isn't. And that's what's attracting 700 people. That's what's attracting 200 nominations.
But the thing is, again, I mean, we're talking about the awards are for people who are providing a service or they're providing some sort of standard to the industry, and that can change month to month. So the voting system, for me, you can't make a decision 2 months before the awards come out because things can change within that timescale, and someone might make a different decision a week before it's due to go out because things are constantly changing. So,
and I'm sure that's happened already.
Yeah, and with it being online, I think that's the biggest thing for me. The fact that we can approach and things can change at the drop of an hat, and I think that's important for people that they can get their point across, and they might wait till the last minute because things have changed over the last few months. So it's quite.
I mean, that's why we have such an epic, and it is epic. We started in February with the nominations process, Monday the 3rd of Feb. We started with the social networker. And we're now closing it 7 months later. That doesn't exist within the industry. There's nothing of that type at all. But what you've just said ideally illustrates that somebody in February might think they know who they want to use, who they want to nominate, and think, well, in June, July, they might be using someone different, and think, actually, I've seen this guy work. He deserves far much more than the other person or the other company, whatever category they're going to nominate in. So it's that 7 months, they get such a large chance to decide who they think deserves to be at least in the shortlist stage, if not win the whole thing.
So obviously the NFA's had a good year last year. It's improving this year massively. things are going to be a little bit different this year. Obviously, we named the awards through a video. Now, there's going to be something similar this year, but apparently we're going to be having an event. I think it's about time we started discussing that now, because
we can't keep avoiding it, can we? No,
you know, the thing is, and we want it to be a little bit different. You know, we don't want it to be like the other awards that are out there in other industries or even in this industry. And I'm not going to steal your thunder on this. It's a good idea, and I'm going to let you talk about what we're doing.
Well, like last year, it's going to be twofold. So we are going to announce the winners via video, okay? And that's going to be just before Christmas time, before the industry breaks off and has a well-deserved rest. However, in March, the date's to be confirmed, but we plan to hold a race day for the people who are working with us and the winners of this year's NFAs. So what we want to do is take everyone down to Brands Hatch and treat them to a day's worth of performance car racing.
Wonderful. So it's basically a driving experience for the
driving
people.
Experience, but not just one car. That's the key. There's going to be a range of cars. So we've got a range of things like works rally cars, 4x4s on dirt terrain, souped up go-karts, which I think will be fantastic on a racetrack. You know, Formula Ford, Renault type kit cars, and the list goes on. But it's not been done, and to be able to give the award winners, who may not even know they made the shortlist yet, to be then said, you know, the industry's voted you.
So let's make this clear then.
All
so
right.
Basically, what's going to happen is the award winners will be invited to this presentation where they're going to get the trophies, and it's going to be a driving experience day.
Correct.
So they're going to have a full day out
at Brands Hatch, which is one of the best racecourses in the UK.
And obviously the other people that are going to come, there's going to be opportunities for people to sponsor this event and obviously get involved and get involved in all the buzz around this. So obviously we're working with Vika at the moment.
Well, Vika have already signed up to become the first main event sponsor, which is fantastic, and I think they were quite excited about it, to be honest.
Wonderful, and obviously we've got GQA with their ongoing participation that are going to be involved in it.
Yeah, who have been with us from the start.
Yeah.
It's those early partnerships which makes things like this work. I mean, we saw with the Fit Show, the early adopters of the Fit Show kicked it off.
Yeah.
And it's something like, you know, it's for the award. I know it's not as big as the Fit Show, but the awards itself, you need those early backers. You need the people who are prepared to put some faith in you, like your idea. Say, yeah, let's get this off the ground and make it work.
Two impressive names. I mean, to be fair, it's great that they're backing this and we're doing something a little bit different. There's nothing out. I mean, yeah, we've got some really good days out there. I know people rave about the Glass Times race day. It's a brilliant day out and everyone enjoys it. All the events that are surrounding the Fit Show. There's all sorts of stuff going on, but it'd be nice to have a racing experience day where we can get everyone together, and I think we'll get some good sponsors for this. I mean, we've not really plugged this yet. There is going to be an opportunity for people to get involved, by the way, which I'm sure we'll talk about in the coming videos over the next few months. But
all those details on the website. We have a sponsors area where you can find out all the information about how to get involved, how to contact us, what's involved. We'll send you packages, we'll send you PDFs. You know, we'll guide you through the process. But in terms of a race day on a range of cars at Brands Hatch, nothing like that exists. Well, our awards, you know, there's nothing like our awards, so what's the point of being like everyone else?
Yeah.
So being able to take the winners who will deserve it, to say, you know, there you go, 6 cars, instructed, by the way, by an expert, so not just left to their own device. There's going to be someone...
That'll be me, I'll be the expert.
Yeah, all right. when you're racing an aerial Atom or a Land Rover on dirt terrain and you've never done it before, to be then, you know, by a race driver or an expert, whoever's at the track, it's going to be fantastic for them.
Well, I'm looking forward to it, and like I said, hopefully there'll be a few more people, get a few companies that back us on this, because it'd be great to have a day out with the winners and actually invite the winners to have something unique like this, and get a few of the sponsors involved.
We're getting a lot of interest for it already. That's the thing. You know, we've already got discussions ongoing in the background. Obviously, we can't say anything until it's finalised, but there's lots of opportunities. Although there's only 6 main sponsor slots, one of them's already now taken, so there's 5 left. With others to be filled probably sooner rather than later. So if anyone is interested, they need to get in touch now rather than later before the chance is missed.
Okay, well, like I said, I think everyone needs to be aware of what we didn't mention it until now, but
no, we've been busy with the nominations. The nominations part is the biggest amount of work, so we have to make sure the nominations go run smoothly, and then we can focus on the fun stuff.
Okay. Last thing, really, we're going to be getting to the voting stage. We need to be telling people really how they can get involved in voting. Anyone, and I'll mention this, anyone who wants to register to vote, please do get involved. It's all free to use. It'd be great to be involved, to get people involved in this and really push this forward, because it's something that we've got a lot of passion for this. It's never going to make big money. It's always going to be an industry thing where it really is about the industry. Money. Well, it's a good job really, because it's never going to be about that. But no. I think it's a great idea. It's about getting the industry together, having an awards system that's online that people can get involved in at all levels, and I think that we really need to get more people involved in voting and really up the ante this year. So what do we have to do to get people voting? I'll let you discuss that.
The process, exactly like the nominations. So you simply have to be a registered user. So you go into the quick register section of the site, less than a minute, bang your details in. Click the link in the confirmation email. We cannot stress how important that is. There's been a lot of people where they may have and it's easy to do because we all sign up for a million things every week online. Click that link in the email we send you.
Yeah.
It's vital. If you don't, then our system doesn't verify your details. Once you've done that, you can log in. You can change your password. You can say get a new password if you don't like the password we've given you. And there'll be a voting section. So once the nominations are finished this evening, we're going to make some changes on the website. It's going to look a little bit different. There'll be a vote section where they can easily access, and it's all going to be on one form. So rather than ask people to nominate once per page, which is going to take a long time out of the day, we're going to provide one form. It's going to have each of the 13 categories on it with the shortlisted people and businesses, and then they can be free to decide who they deserve to win in each of those categories.
Wonderful.
And there's also going to be profile pages. So each shortlisted person and business is going to be able to provide us with the information. It's going to think out images, they can upload a video, description of them or the business, and why they deserve, or why they think people deserve to give them their vote. And that's going to help people, because there may be people and business on they've never heard of. If they stumble on their profile page and think, yeah, they're clearly doing good work, why not vote for them? So it's going to be that as well, which is going to be important. But the site's going to look a little bit different. But clear voting section, click on that part, form comes up, and then per category you get to vote once and decide who the winner is.
Great stuff, exciting times. Well, it's been a pleasure speaking about this. Hopefully we'll have a lot more to talk about once the nominations are finished. Like I said, when this video goes out,
it'll all be done.
I think
the nominations will be done.
Yeah, the nominations will be done. So the next time I'm sure we'll be talking about that and one or two other things. There'll be loads more to come out within the website, so keep your eyes on that, guys. Anything you want to finish off with? Anything you want to say, Jason?
Other than for all the registered users, you've taken the time to nominate, you've taken the time to register. It doesn't cost you anything. Make sure you vote. There's people and businesses who are going to be shortlisted who will be just chuffed to make the shortlists. But they'll want your support as well. So everybody who's already registered, remember that you took part in the first phase, and
even those who haven't registered yet, you can still vote.
Well, that's the next thing. Yeah, you can still register to vote even though you didn't take part in the nominations.
I think we'll be showing the website on the video, so the website will be underneath us now. Get yourself on there, register, get voting.
It's free, it's fair, it's all honest. You've got naught to do with it. And it's just about rewarding the best and brightest in our industry fairly.
Then we'll finish this with good luck to everyone who's been nominated, because you'll know them now. Thanks again, and we'll be talking again soon. Thank you very much.